Hey guys, thanks for watching the Slat Rock channel. You know, in some ways, wrestling is a family business. If you're the son or daughter of someone in the business, then it's easy to get in the door. It's not enough to keep you in the business though, and wrestling apparently isn't passed on from father to son. There are many people who just never had the success that their fathers did. And so today, we present you with 17 wrestlers who never achieved the success of their fathers. Number 17, Eric Watts. Eric Watts is the son of Bill Watts. While Bill is mostly known as being a booker rather than a wrestler, he still had a successful career in the wrestling industry, which is more than can be said for his son. Eric shifted between WCW and the WWF, but was unable to achieve real success with either company. A few years after a short stint in ECW, he joined TNA without much success. Number 16, Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel is the son of Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig. Axel had the misfortune of debuting with the bland and boring gimmick of Michael McGillicuddy. He achieved some minor success when paired with Paul Heyman, but he was still seen as being as bland as ever. By the time he showed some charisma and got fans behind him, it was too late and he'd already settled into his role as a jobber. It's hard to believe he'll ever see any real success anytime soon. 15. Lanny Poffo. Leaping Lanny Poffo is the son of Angelo Poffo and the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage. He wasn't as talented as his brother and was nowhere near as charismatic. Lanny Poffo is mostly remembered for being the genius, an effeminate man who would read poetry for promos. You could argue that the first person Damien Sandow copied was actually the genius. Lanny never found much success and disappeared from the wrestling industry in 1999. He was technically contracted to WCW in 1995, but despite receiving a regular paycheck for 4 years, never appeared for the company. Number 14, Brian Christopher. Brian Christopher is the son of Jerry the King Lawler and is best remembered for being Grandmaster Sexay of Too Cool. He wasn't as charismatic as his father, and his poor relationship with the King probably didn't help matters. Christopher achieved some success, but never as much as his famous father. Number 13, Garrett Bischoff. Garrett Bischoff, if you couldn't tell by the name, is the son of Eazy-E, Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff has always been able to find a job in wrestling. In TNA, he even managed to find one for his son Garrett. Garrett began as a referee and had a few feuds, including with Eric, before becoming a member of Aces and Eights. He was unceremoniously ejected from the gang and disappeared for a year before his profile was quietly removed from the roster page on the website. As a final jab at TNA, he would sue them for unpaid salary. Number 12, Barry Orton. Barry Orton is the son of Bob Orton and the brother of Bob Orton Jr., making him the uncle of Randy Orton. Barry debuted in the company in the early 70s, and there are a few possible reasons for his lack of success. Barry would go on to be involved in the sex scandal against WWE in 1992. He alleged that he was harassed by Terry Garvin in 1978. Whether this has anything to do with his position in the company is up for debate, but he was definitely the least successful member of the Orton family. Number 11, Jesse Henning. Jesse Henning is the brother of Curt Hennig and son of Larry Henning. To show the lack of success that Jesse Henning had, if you were to search for him online, you would only find one match. He had a good look and was trained by one of the best in Harley Race, but for some reason or another, nothing ever came of his career. Number 10, Dustin and Cody Runnels. Dustin Runnels and Cody Runnels are the sons of Dusty Rhodes. Dustin started out as Dustin Runnels before settling into the Goldust gimmick, and Cody Runnels currently wrestles as Stardust. Dustin was brought into the business too soon and was paired with Dusty right away. Dustin is a fine wrestler and weirdly charismatic, but his gimmicks and early failures have kept him from achieving great levels of success. Cody has become a multi-time tag team champion and intercontinental champion, but these days, you wouldn't know he was ever successful. He has had a lot of fun as Stardust, so it's hard to complain too much about his lack of success. While the fans still wish he was Cody Rhodes and was higher up in the card, he's having too much fun to stop now. Number 9, Ted DiBiase Jr. Ted DiBiase Jr. is the son of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. DiBiase Sr. was a major player in the WWF in the late 80s and early 90s. He may never have won big gold, but he was a spectacular character who still found plenty of success. The same cannot be said of his son. WWE really tried to make Ted DiBiase Jr. a success. They gave him a beautiful woman in Maurice. They gave him the $1 Million Championship and Virgil. They even gave him a starring role in a movie. It was never enough, as he just didn't have the same charisma that his father did. He left WWE in 2013 and has never looked back since. Number 8, Richie Steamboat. Richie Steamboat made his first appearance in WWE being held by his father Ricky the Dragon Steamboat as a baby. When he was all grown up, Richie was welcomed into the WWE and joined developmental brand NXT. Richie was with the company for 4 years before back injuries would end his career before it really had a chance to take off. Number 7, Scott Putski. Scott Putski is the son of Ivan Putski. His background in football, along with his father, helped open the door for young Scott Putski. He had a few matches for both WCW and WWF, but he's best remembered for his single pay-per-view appearance at the Ground Zero in Your House, where the match was called off after Putski injured his leg. Number 6, Shawn Stasiak. Shawn Stasiak is the son of Stan Stasiak. While Stan Stasiak would become WWF champion, his son only saw the WCW World Tag Team Championship and the WWE Hardcore Championship. His career only lasted 6 years and he never found any real success. He looked great, but lacked everything else he would need to succeed in WWE. Number 5, Sim Snuka. Sim Snuka is the adopted son of Jimmy Superfly Snuka. He actually debuted as Deuce and would be part of the successful tag team Deuce and Domino, but was never able to achieve much in the way of singles success. He just never caught on with the fans. He tried to succeed without relying on his family name and failed. He was released from the company and never really wrestled much again afterwards. Number 4, Lacey Von Erich. Lacey Von Erich is the forgotten member of one of wrestling's most famous families, the Von Erichs. She is the daughter of Kerry Von Erich and was only in the business for 3 years as an active wrestler. She had the looks, but had none of the skill. It might not have been so bad if she weren't a Von Erich, but she was, and she failed to live up to the name. Number 3, Joe Morocco. Joe Morocco is the son of Don Morocco. While Don Morocco had a long and storied career spanning over 3 decades, his son is yet to make it out of the indies and into a promotion like ROH, TNA, or NXT. He suffered from a broken arm in his second ever match and is a prime example of how having a famous father doesn't get you to the top in wrestling. Number 2, David Flair. David Flair is the son of Ric Flair and regarded as being the least talented member of the Flair family. While you could make the argument that the shoes of Ric Flair were just too big to fill, his brother Reed did a good job of it before his untimely death, and right now, his sister Charlotte is doing an excellent job of being a Flair. David never had much charisma or in-ring skill, and other than a storyline against his father in WCW, never saw any success in the world of wrestling. Number 1, David Sammartino. David Sammartino is the son of the longest reigning WWF World Heavyweight Champion Bruno Sammartino. Bruno was an icon for decades and is still remembered to this day. There was almost no chance his son was ever going to be able to live up to his father's name or legacy. David was a good worker in the ring and could have achieved a fair level of success if it wasn't for his last name and the constant comparisons to his legendary father. The backstage political squabbles between Vince McMahon and Bruno Sammartino didn't do much to help either. As a result, David never got very far in the world of wrestling and is one of the least successful second-generation wrestlers ever. So guys, what did you think of our list? Do you think anybody else should have been on it? Do you think some of these guys might have had more success than we're giving them credit for? Go ahead and drop us a comment below. Don't forget you can hit that subscribe button and get more videos just like this one. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And as always, thanks for watching.